Hello and welcome to Rate That Character, a series where a member of the Source Gaming team gives their opinion on a character's chances at being playable in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We lay out the pros and cons for each character and give a final score out of 100. Please do remember that these are our own individual opinions and do not reflect Sakurai, Nintendo, or even the thoughts of Source Gaming as a whole. With that out of the way, my name is PushDustIn, and let's see who today's character is. Miss Pac-Man was one of my favorite arcade games growing up. I'll never forget putting a quarter in to play the game at a pizza parlor and start my quest to eat all of the dots while dodging the 4 ghosts. Miss Pac-Man, the character, is from the highly influential game with the same name. What's interesting is that the game was not made by Namco, and wasn't made with their approval. Instead, the game was made by a company with one of the worst names ever, the General Computer Corporation, and Midway Games, who were Namco's distributor in the United States. They took a game that was called Crazy Auto and created Miss Pac-Man out of it. Eventually, Namco found out, got a little upset, and sued. Miss Pac-Man would later enter Namco's catalog and eventually the Namco Bandai suite of games, starring or co-starring in a lot of games with Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man is obviously the female version of Pac-Man, featuring a distinct bow and a beauty mark. Miss Pac-Man has already crossed over the likes of Mario and Mario Kart Arcade GP2. When Pac-Man was first showing off for Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U, many fans were blown away by Sakurai's design. Instead of opting for that, creepy design, Sakurai decided to mix the classic style with the modern one while throwing in a lot of references to the other properties. Because of his unique and fun playstyle, in addition to the history represented with the character, Pac-Man is one of my favorite newcomers in the last 2 Smash games. But his alts just plain suck, like, what the heck? I can change the color of the shoes and the gloves and... Because of the lack of good options, many fans like myself would like to see Miss Pac-Man become an alt of Pac-Man. There is a small possibility that we could see the Misses as an Echo Fighter. Let me go over the pros and cons to see what high score we will get in today's Rate That Character. Miss Pac-Man would be relatively easy to develop. The body shape is pretty much the same, and a lot of moves could be carried over. I was trying to think of why Sakurai wouldn't opt for Miss Pac-Man to become an alt in the first place, and then work backwards. The first reason that I thought of was maybe because Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man have different games. Because of their games being slightly different, maybe Sakurai didn't feel comfortable with forcing Pac-Man's moveset onto the Misses. For example, in Miss Pac-Man, the game is slightly faster and has very different fruit. While Pac-Man has only 8 fruit, which all represent in his moveset, Miss Pac-Man could only have 7. With Bandai Namco also developing the next Smash, perhaps we could see even more Bandai Namco in Smash. A relatively easy addition would be the Miss Pac-Man herself. As far as cons go, the second reason could be Bandai Namco themselves. Miss Pac-Man has a little bit of a weird history, as noted in the start. Perhaps Sakurai or Bandai Namco didn't want Miss Pac-Man to reference Namco's rich history, as she wasn't made by them. There also could be restrictions concerning Pac-Man's representation by Bandai Namco themselves, much like Pikachu had a lot of restrictions on his alt in the last games. If there was an Echo Fighter of a third-party character, it would be a little bit strange to have nearly 2 identical non-Nintendo characters in the roster. It is very possible to have a third-party clone. Sakurai has not made a statement on this one way or the other, but since it hasn't happened yet, it's less likely to happen than not. Personally, I think Miss Pac-Man has a very good shot of becoming an alt rather than an Echo Fighter. With being such an easy addition and a lot of third parties get additional costumes like Cloud and Bayonetta, I think maybe her time might have come. Let's go ahead and see if Sakurai can find a way to sneak her into the game. Thank you for watching today's Rate That Character. If you like this video, then give us a like and share it with your friends. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on today's character, and give us a suggestion for a future character you'd like us to rate. I want to thank all of our patrons, in particular our super patron, the Duke of Dorks. A link to his channel can be found below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date, and always remember to return to the source.